So is episode 4 just a massive side quest?
I think so, and I prefer it that way.
Oh, I love it so much.
I think it's fun that we get to have, it's an 8-episode show, but at least we get to have a little bit of fun doing some separate, not focused mainly on the quests, like the main quest.
And again, we talked about in the previous episode, which was out 2 days ago. Go check it out. Mm-hmm. But they throw in little things from to show you, hey, this is from a video game. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what better way to show you the video game than to say, all the players, you have one main quest line that you're supposed to do for the game, but there's a bunch of side quests that you can do. And that's exactly what happens in episode 4, because at the end of episode 3, the Ghoul gets all of his, we'll call it Rataway, broken. So he's like, I gotta go get me some more. I've got time, because gulpers digest slowly. So the head that they're still chasing won't be gone by the time they get back. So episode 4 is all about the Ghoul and Lucy going to get some more yellow liquid for him, so that he doesn't turn into a ghoul. Against Lucy's will, by the way.
She
did not want to go.
She doesn't want to go, but he has tied her up with his whip or whatever. Yeah. His bull whip, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he's dragging her to this superstore, and she has this weird, idea of what she thinks is going to happen, but then turns out what actually happens. Yeah. And it's a very fun episode.
Yeah. So now we got the synopsis out of the way. I'm Steven.
My name is Hopper.
We are the Binge Warmers. We are covering every episode of Fallout episodically. So, again, bear with us. We've only watched up to episode 4 by the time of recording this. So if we're missing something, don't chew us out in the comments. We just haven't gotten there yet. So let's jump into it.
Yeah, episode 4, we get to see the biggest thing for me was Lucy and the Ghoul and their kind of character development. We don't see Maximus and Thaddeus at all.
No.
We just get to see the main two characters. Yeah. And the Vault as well. Get some more love.
Yeah, we get some more of that mystery unfolding with Norm.
Yeah, and Bert,
Chet.
New Bert.
Oh, yeah.
Has some fun in this one as well.
Maybe it's fun.
It was very uncomfortable for me.
It was uncomfortable to watch. But yeah, so they're going first. He's going to go find another old Ghoul friend of his, and he's hoping to get some vials off him. Roger.
Who's he's doing one of those SpongeBob in the corner where he's like, they think they can hire me. I get the best years of my life. But it's he's like, oh, my name is Roger.
I think it's more of when military personnel are kidnapped, they have to kind of outwit the torturing. All they do is they repeat their officer ID to themselves over and over and over and over again to keep themselves
sounds wonky as hell.
But that's what you see in Halo 2 and Halo, because they capture Captain Keyes of the Pillar of Autumn, and he just continuously there's this. It's crazy, but there's this whole. He gets put into the grave mind. It's all the zombies and stuff, and they put a bunch of people together, and it forms a hive mind. And the whole time he's in it, he's repeating his officer number so that he can stay conscious, but he's slowly losing to the hive mind itself. It's crazy. But I think that's more of what he's doing. He's like, my name is Roger. I'm Roger. I'm a human. My name is Roger.
No,
Roger.
I think he's trying to keep his memory. Because you lose all your, when you go feral, you kind of lose yourself.
So right? he's reciting his name to make sure he keeps his name.
Yeah, I think because we get another Ghoul.
Going crazy.
And we set this up to see Martha later on.
Yeah. Why'd you say that name? Martha!
Why do you keep repeating that name? Imagine if Batman walked in there, he would instantly start crying. Martha. Anyway,
I'm gonna put Superman and Batman on our faces.
Yeah. I like that. I like that Lucy kind of comes around to the wasteland in this.
Yes,
but she doesn't sacrifice her morals. I've noticed she keeps who she is. But she's
a little more bloodthirsty this time around.
She's becoming more. Well, she has to kill Martha essentially.
Sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Batman's coming for her,
and Superman actually.
Yeah.
Maybe Lex Luthor's coming too. I don't know. I don't remember that movie very well. I don't know who was doing what.
Yeah.
I just remember Martha.
It's the best you don't remember it.
Yeah, it's fair.
Except for Jeremy Irons as.
Oh yeah, he's good as Alfred.
I love it. It's perfect.
He's piloting the Batwing and he's killing people. He's shooting guns at people.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, off of that tangent, we do see Lucy kind of embrace, because before she's got the non-lethal gun, and now she's got a real gun.
Well, it's life or death too. Yeah. She has to kill Martha, the aging Ghoul who's going feral, or she'll die. Yeah. And she even sets all the other ghouls free that these people have in the store. Yeah. They're kind of doing this organ trafficking operation for drugs.
Let's back it back up to Roger first before we get into that.
Oh, right.
So we see Roger, and he doesn't have any yellow vials left either. So he's asking the Ghoul, and he's like, I don't have any either. So the Ghoul, I think he's being nice here. I think Lucy misunderstands it. He gets him talking about food and getting him in a good mood, and he's talking about his mom, and before he knows it, boom, shot in the head. And while yes, he does take his back fat to make jerky, I think his
ass.
intentions
He's taking
were,
his ass.
Yeah, but like I think it was still a mercy thing that he did. You know what I mean?
Because he didn't want. I mean, there's no vials. Even like the ghoul, the ghoul doesn't have Cooper Howard.
Yeah,
he doesn't have any vials either. So he's trying to just he's trying to put this poor guy out before he can go feral and be a shell of what he once was, and also. So it protects him, and it also puts him out of his misery, essentially.
What I don't understand is why he pulled the tooth.
Because it's valuable.
Why is that tooth valuable?
It must be his only good tooth or something. You know how you saw Maximus in the last episode sell his teeth.
I just don't know why he pulled one tooth out.
Maybe it was understood that he pulled a couple of them out. Because he said to Roger was like, yeah, you've been around for a long time, and he goes, I'm really good at making money, Roger.
Yeah,
I've always been good at making money.
Selling your friend's teeth.
Could be
when they go feral. I'm the tooth fairy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's a whole thing too, because she's like, why do you even continue on? Like she's kind of like, your life is so miserable. Why do you? Because he's eating his friend essentially.
Yeah, he didn't even let it turn into jerky. The first one, he just ate it. Ugh. So gross. And that's when he's like, okay, I'm tired of your shit. You're gonna keep talking. You get to peel the back fat.
It's like
off.
one good question deserves another.
Yeah. Why am I doing all the work? Everything out of his mouth is just gold.
Can we talk about how people are thirsting over this character online?
You know, women are weird that way. You know.
I guess so.
Des, my girlfriend, has thirsted over some things that I'm just like, I'm just like, come on.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let's not. Okay.
Yeah. Let's back it up a bit. Let's think about the character.
I don't know. Maybe they're seeing Walton Goggins more
Maybe
than the Ghoul.
I think that is. I mean, that's.
Which he's not exactly a looker either. I don't understand. Maybe he just gives off daddy vibes.
You talking about Walton Goggins?
Yeah.
I think it's the whole like cowboy who's doing his own thing. Yeah. And he's got this kind of southern drawl.
He's got the authority behind him too. Yeah, women love authority.
They do. What I mean? And confidence. He's very confident. Ghoul.
It's interesting. I'll tell you that. I've seen some tweets, and I'm just like, come on now.
I'm like,
you're putting that out in the public.
I've seen some TikToks where I'm like, I wouldn't attach that to my name if I was you.
Yeah. It's brave of you. You know, you're a very brave individual for saying that. But
Oh man.
But yeah, great little bit. You see too, like she's wanting water, but it's all irradiated. So he's like, I can give you my water, but you're gonna be closer to me than you think, more than you like, kind
and she's like digging in a bucket essentially. She gets to this point where she's like just shoveling like dirty,
and you can hear the rad counter on her Pip Boy and stuff. Never good. And that's why I never drink water in the video games.
Oh really?
Yeah. If you don't do hardcore, you never have to actually eat or drink. As long as you got stim packs or you get to sleep, you kind of get healed fine. So
that's good.
I never eat. I just sell it all.
I think. But that's one that's one step closer to like Lucy becoming part of the wasteland, like part of the what do they call it, it's like the wasteland, right?
Yeah, it's just the wasteland.
She's becoming part of that society.
She's no longer a vault dweller at this point.
Which
is funny. The ghoul calls her Vaulty. Which is funny. I like that.
What'd you say your name was, Vaulty?
Yeah, that's another thing. She says McLean, and he's like,
he's like, oh.
So the name's got some weight. It's unfolding episode by episode.
You know what that reminded me of was Pirates of the Caribbean 1, or it's like Elizabeth Turner. Turner. Yeah. Even though like she's telling the truth about her name, but it was like that realization, but he didn't say anything. Yeah. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, suspense. We like
something's going on.
So yeah, he takes her to this supermarket thing that's been taken over by these guys. You saw the one guy. You see him in everything as like an extra.
This show has so many that guys.
Yes,
it's like Thaddeus is one of those guys. Like, I don't know his name. Like we said his name in the last episode, but it's like he's in stuff, and I recognize him, but I don't know his name. Also, the guy, like the kind of the chubbier guy, who's like part of the council. Yeah. He's in stuff. Like he was in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, he's like, okay, Spider-Man.
He's like, do a flip. Like he's in stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's that guy.
Yeah,
but I never know their name. It's like this show is full of that. Like the guy on the couch, he's part of. He was like the tour operator on Jurassic World.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I just work here, guys.
Yeah, leave me alone.
I think he was in Stranger Things. He's definitely been in like, he was in the series of Unfortunate Events. You remember that on Netflix?
Oh, really? I only watched the first 3 episodes. Was it?
It's good. I would recommend it. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Is it one season, 2 seasons?
It's like 3 or 4 seasons. They did the whole book series. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
The supermarket location is very interesting.
Yes, it's again if you go and you play the video games, you can find like abandoned supermarkets, abandoned hospitals and stuff, and inside are these setups for raiders or people just chilling out and they're living there. Everything's been retrofitted for survival. You know what I mean? And it's so funny too. They have a Robo Mr. Handy. They have a Mr. Handy with them, and then there's just 2 dudes, and they're running.
What was his name? Snip.
Yeah, they called him Snip Snip.
Yeah.
But the robot is called a Mr. Handy. They were big, famous before the war. Like it was like a butler. Everyone had one.
We saw one in episode 1, didn't we? Like in the birthday party episode.
Yeah. So But it's so funny. These two guys look like just dorks. You know what I mean? How are they running a crime organization of human trafficking organs? You know,
they're high out of their freaking minds.
Yeah,
too.
they don't care. They just don't care.
They're so zooted.
Yeah,
they barely can. Because Lucy comes out and she's like, got her gun or whatever. She got the Mr. Handy like fixed up to where he'll shoot like lethal darts. And the guys are just like, okay.
Take whatever you want. Honestly, we can't defend ourselves. This guy's high. The other guy never looked like he knew what was going on.
No, I think you're right.
But essentially, the Ghoul was selling Lucy to these people so he could get 2 months of the yellow vial liquid. So because of that, she doesn't know that's what she's there for. She thinks it's going to be like a sex thing. The Ghoul like cut her finger off, which was funny because she bit his off because she was trying to run away. And so he goes, oh, and he cuts it off and he goes like,
kind of eye for eye thing.
Yeah, he goes, this is the most honest exchange we've had yet,
Also, too, because her name is McClan, he probably was like, oh, you're not telling me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he thinks she may know something.
Yeah,
So, she goes in there, and Mr. Snip Snip's like, oh, I'll give you a finger. He's fine. He has like a whole drawer of fingers.
Yeah, we got to talk about Matt Berry as the robot Snip Snip.
Phenomenal.
If you don't know, like Toast of London is a show he was in. And he used to just be like, it was like this comedy show where he's like a voice actor.
Was he a voice actor in the show or in the game for
I don't think
Mr. Handy?
So. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about Fallout, but he's just such a fun, like Matt Berry is that, like he's that voice. Like he is the voice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can talk about too, like Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett. He was a droid in that.
Yeah.
And Matt Berry's like a famous comedian. He's on like all these different comedy shows. Like,
he's also the Codsworth in Fallout.
No shot. Okay.
Yeah, so he's the Mr. Handy in there.
That's so good. Okay, awesome. I love that. But yeah, he's like this in the Toast of London, that show that I love. He's like a voice actor, so he does like. He's always doing like random voices, and I'm always like, when I hear his voice, I always think Stephen Toast is behind it doing it, the character he played. But like in Star Wars, he was a droid. He didn't have a single funny thing to say. He was just like, Master Boba Fett, the huts are here. He was doing whatever. But in this, he's like, I'm selling your organs. Yeah. Like he really hams it up and does an awesome job.
That's disgusting.
He's like, sex operation? No, I'll just steal your organs.
Yeah, and then even when he gets like electrocuted and stuff, he's like talking to her. He sounds all like dazed and drunk and stuff.
He's like, can I make your day better?
Yeah, it's so funny. I love that. But again, we see like, so the Ghoul sells her over and they're supposed to just come right out with the vials. Well, it's taking longer than expected. He passes out.
Well, because her finger was his fault because her finger got cut off.
Yeah.
So like, we need to take a look at her, and then so they send her in and sew her back up. But then they're just gonna steal her organs anyway. So why do they even?
Yeah.
I think it was just to set up that like expectation and payoff kind of a deal.
Yeah, it was just weird. They were like, okay, we're gonna take your organs, but here we'll take a finger, put it on you for some reason. Maybe he's like
person's finger. Like
maybe he's like a like OCD. He's like, I can't operate on someone who's not fully there. Like I just can't. It's a tick thing.
But like when she dies because he takes her organs, wouldn't he just like take the fingers anyway? I guess.
Well, it could be part of his original programming because Mr. Handys were there to help humanity.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
That's
so maybe at first he's like, oh, I need to get you fixed to fix my programming, but then I also have to do their bidding.
Yeah.
And harvest your organs, which would be kind of cool.
Man, I kind of wish because she loads them up. What are the darts full with? So like the syringes.
Yeah, it's like borax cleaning.
Solution. Yeah. So like she shoots it at the couch and it like melts the couch.
Yeah,
away.
and they're like, okay, you can
you
have
got it.
everything you want here. Just
Yeah.
And I hate to because he's like, open up, let all the ghouls out. So they let all the ghouls out except for the feral ones.
Yeah.
And she goes, all of them. He goes, no, you don't understand about them. And she's like, all of them. He's like, just tell her you can't because they're feral and they'll kill you. You know what I mean? But instead, like, okay, and then they both die from it.
That's one of their character flaws. They're just like out of their mind, zooted. They're just
their
like
reactions.
they don't even know what's happening.
Yeah,
they're just like we can't do that. And then she's like shooting stuff at him. Like
okay, we'll
whatever.
do it. Just let me.
And then the ghouls obviously come and get them.
Yeah.
Scary scene.
It's crazy. The whole episode is just crazy, and it's so funny because it's at the end of the day, it's a side quest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It furthers the plot nothing at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but it's still so fun to watch.
Well, it furthers our character dramas. Like Lucy, like we see, Lucy takes a turn where she's willing to kill now.
Yeah.
If it's to save her own life, I suppose. And she's also like, she's ditched her like top of her jumpsuit, so it just kind of visually like she's less of a vault dweller.
Yeah, more of a wastelander.
Yeah.
Which, like you said though, she doesn't go too much back on her morals because she does come out and she gives the Ghoul like 2 months worth of vials kind of thing. She just drops them at his feet. She goes, golden rule, mother. Like walks away.
Which is nice because I think she sees the humanity in him. I think I think he is maybe going to come around towards the good side toward eventually. And again, good is subjective in this universe because everything's destroyed. You're kind of for yourself anyway.
Mm-hmm. And so he goes in and sees all the drugs. Yeah. And what does he do? Get fucking high.
He has like a huge party. And he's like,
he's putting it on. He's watching his old movies.
I love how he's doing the drugs and he's like talking to all the dead people. He's like, sorry fellas, I'd offer you some. But,
it's like the grapes again. He's like, or the tomatoes. Like, I give you one, but you got a hole in your neck. He's just good.
He's like, this ain't a party you can join.
Yeah. So now let's flip over to the vault. Mm-hmm. We've got Norm doing some stuff. So we open with like Steph. She got her eye taken out. Yeah. She's going in and she goes talking to Chet, which we know kind of is still in love with Lucy.
Yeah, that's a weird dynamic too.
It's
because
so weird,
like,
man.
Even like Norm's hanging out with him later, and he's like, "Are you just hanging out with me because you love my sister and I remind you of her?" And he's like, "Shut up, Norm." He said something like that.
But they've got a weird stunted development in that vault. You know
I guess
what I mean?
So, yeah.
Like they take shelter to the absolute extreme. So anyway, she comes in there. She's talking about her dead husband Bert, who died in the raider attack, and she's like trying to give him his old stuff, like his shoes, but they're too small for Chet. The sweater he wore, but again too small. So she gets it on him, and she just gets turned on, and starts they're like making out. It's gonna be like a whole sex thing, and then all of a sudden her water breaks. So she gets up.
Like something that would happen in like The Boys.
Yes.
It was very like Amazon TV kind of a deal.
Because the thing is, like, they've been pretty graphic so far.
Yeah.
This, I feel like, they cooked it up a notch.
And two, it's like all these like sweet vault dwellers who are just like hanging out and being nice and like trying to like console each other over the loss that they've felt.
And then Steph is like almost doing some weird role playing.
He's like,
fetish.
he's like, Chet. She goes, Bert, you're Bert. She's like
Bert.
shutting him up. She's like, shh, you're
and
Bert.
He's like, I'm Bert. And I'm just like, stop. Please, Chet. So she's like giving birth. Norm comes up and he's like trying to block it. Chet is. He's trying to block the whole birth thing. And he's like, you want to get out of the house? And he goes, yes. Yes, right now. So they go into Vault 32 and they see everyone's dead. They've been dead for even before the Raiders got there.
And they weren't killed by like Raider killings.
No.
They were like one of them shoved a fork in a toaster.
Yeah, it was like suicide, killing each other.
They were like strangling each other.
And on the walls are written in blood. They're like, we know the truth, or we know what you did, death to the overseer kind of thing.
Pretty wild.
Lots of stuff. So something's happened. And so he's checking the logs. And who opened the door? His mom. His mom opened the door to let the Raiders in. So is she still alive? Or did she do it as like a last act?
I don't know. It's like at some point he said like, oh, the last sign of life was 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, so she was the last one to open the door. But is it like, did she open it as she was also dying? Or is she still alive somewhere? What's going on here?
I don't know. I think, do you think this has anything to do with the dad? Like why they had to take the dad?
It's got to be something related.
Yeah. I like that there's like an extra layer of drama to this. Like some mystery too. Like we get the vault.
Because we know in the game, every vault that you can go in has a story behind it on what kind of experiments were being run.
Oh, wow.
Some are virtual reality. Some are, there's one where they're like trying to find a single thing that will cure any disease ever. So they expose the vault dwellers to different things and stuff, and then like give them a medicine to try. So everything is an experiment, and each of them have their own lore. It's crazy how many vaults you can go in, and they all have lore to it. It's really fun. So now we just have to discover in this game what the lore is of these three vaults, because that's another thing. You don't always see vaults connected to each other.
Yeah,
these three were connected. So why were they connected?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Norm's trying to get to the bottom of that. I
think the vault stuff is more interesting in this episode just because we see some stuff happening.
Yeah.
But in the last episode, it was just kind of like Norm is trying to become a leader.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out what happened. And this we get some movement. We get to see them go into the next vault and figure out more stuff happening. I didn't expect them to go back to the vault at all. I thought that was just going to be like kind of a beginning and ending.
Yeah, like a
setting.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad that because it's part of the story that we have this whole extra part of the world underneath.
Yeah.
And then you get like, because I mean, how many vaults are there? There's probably tons of vaults.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Like 113 or something like that.
Yeah, so that's unlimited storytelling essentially.
Yeah.
So
you could have a story on every one of them if you wanted.
They could all be different time periods. Like
yeah, absolutely.
So it's cool.
It's cool. And they have to have a vault story. It's Fallout.
Is there vaults? Like, do you go into vaults in the actual game?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
For Fallout 3 and 4, you come out of a vault. You are a vault dweller.
But do you go back to the vault at all? Do you have any vault time?
Yeah, you go back into all kinds of vaults.
Well, really?
You can go back to your vault. You go into other vaults and you learn most of them are already dead and gone kind of thing. Some raiders have found vaults and made them their own vault kind of things. So vaults are a big deal in the game. You'll find them all over the place kind of thing.
Okay.
So.
Well, cool. Yeah, I guess that's a good deal that we're getting some vault development.
Yeah, yeah. I like how everything literally mirrors the video game to where it could be a video game if they made it. It could have been Fallout 5.
It could have been, but now we're gonna have to wait until the Elder Scrolls comes out.
Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and I said, well, they've got Elder Scrolls next and then Fallout 5. So I'm not expecting Fallout 5 until like 2028, 2030 maybe.
Yeah, it'll be a minute.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
The show will be over and done with before we get Fallout 5.
Maybe not, if it's good enough.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, but like, is it going to go for like 4 years? Who knows?
Who knows, man? Yeah. I'm excited to see it, though.
I do like it. I think these characters could fit in this setting. Could like fit any different number of stories into it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that's episode 4 with us. Thanks for coming along with us. We'll have the next couple out. Like I said, we do these every Wednesday and Friday.
Trying to get through them because is the hype dead?
We don't know. I don't know.
Check out our last episode.
Exactly. But what are your thoughts on this episode? Do you like the vault stuff? I know it's kind of grown on Hopper, but I've been kind of indifferent. I'm interested.
I think it's just that it's not bad stuff. It's just that the other stuff is so much more interesting.
Yeah. And whose story are you more excited for? Are you upset we didn't get Maximus in this one? Do you like more Ghoul, Lucy? Do you have a preference? Let us know in the comments down below.
If you want to see more Fallout stuff, you can go click on Steven's face there. If you want to see more episode by episode breakdowns, and you like Ben 10, you can click on my face right here. If you want to subscribe to us, that's this little button in the middle, and we'll see you in the next Fallout review.
Yep. See you later.